Well, that's not working out too well. That's not working out so well either. Oh, okay, so yeah. Anyway, it's been a fucking long ass time since I did a live stream. I think it's been like over a year. So I thought I would just hop on here to see who I could fucking sneak in, who would actually pop up. And I do have a couple of things to talk about real quick. I wasn't gonna actually film and make a video on. I was gonna throw something on Facebook, but I figured, fucking, I'll go live. In the chance that I do catch some of you guys, maybe I can answer some questions out. If not, if nobody really gets involved, then I'll just talk about what I was going to talk about and bounce out real quick. It's just no big deal. And there's two things. One thing I slept on, and another thing that just kind of came up just now. I kind of touch on again. Okay, I guess we'll go ahead and talk about that real quick first. So I got a DM from a guy who's having some issues with the head he got from HMO. This kind of goes back to what I've talked to about a bunch of times about with import engine shops are great for what they provide. It's a place you can go to and get JDM engines, JDM engine parts and all that stuff, and car parts as well, like front clips, tie part conversions, shit like that. List goes on and on. But this particular guy went and spent $700 on a GSR head. They told him it was a 2000 GSR head, and it was like $700. So the guy paid the $700, got it. The head's not a 2000, it's a 96, and on top of that, it's damaged. You got the whole valve train you see there, and you can see conspicuously in one of the chambers, you got two brand new valves, and then there's damage along the head. Now, it does kind of look clean. The surface of the head looks kind of clean, but at the same time, you see a bunch of little scratches and shit all over it, and it's got damage around that cylinder. So it's he's contacting them, talking about the head's damaged, and I might need to resurface this, and they're saying, well, it's already been resurfaced. I'm like, well, it's kind of hard to say that because it looks like that there's a little bit of gasket material left over in one of the corners, and you got the obvious damage, and it's not deep damage, it's kind of shallow, so I wouldn't imagine you'd have to take off too much to get rid of that. But or the chances are maybe it was resurfaced and ran like that because they just didn't want to dig into it too deep to get the damage off. But the whole point of my rant about the engine import shops is that a lot of times it's hit or miss. Like, they don't guarantee for sure know exactly what the mileage is. All they know is what the average is, and they're selling it based on that. And then they do have warranties and whatnot, but the warranties, generally speaking, are not enough time to stop you from getting fucked out of your money. I talked about this a lot on 2 different videos, but this just goes to reaffirm what I've said before. Like, if you're paying more than $500, anything more than $500, I wouldn't risk it, because if there's something wrong, like in this situation, you're gonna be you could potentially be asked out of money. So this guy pays $700 for a cylinder head, which is insane in itself, and it's damaged. So, and I didn't read the whole thing because I couldn't. He sent me a link to the thread where he discussed it, but apparently, I couldn't see it properly or whatever because it was in a group that I'm not a part of or whatnot. But it fucking sucks. It seems like he's been talking to the guys back and forth, and they've been giving him the runaround instead of just telling him to send the head back, which is exactly what I would have done. I'd been like, just get my refund, get my head back, or get my money back. Anyway, okay, so now the main topic here, the RSX. You guys seen that this weekend I did a decent amount of engine teardowns. Well, not a decent amount. I think I just did 3 maybe. Yeah, I did the Z3 teardown. I did the teardown for the A3, and I did the teardown for this other A2 that I have. And then originally I was going to tear down one of these engines and rebuild them and sell it, but I decided to do some thinking because I have what the thinking I needed to do is what I was going to rebuild to sell or rebuild and keep one. And I decided I'm going to rebuild and keep, but not, but I've been having the time. The thing I've been doing is I've been rebuilding engines. Like, I'll use it eventually and stash it for God only knows how long. So what we're going to do here is something I've been complaining about to myself and my wife. Like, if I just didn't do boost, if I just built an engine that was NA and just ran with it, it wouldn't take me so long to get a car running. And another thing is with the Integra, guys, just to be 100% honest, like, I fucked myself with the Integra. I fucked with it too much. I shouldn't have done some things I did. And that's the reason why, it's kind of, my heart's not been into it and been slowed down, because I know that even after I get the car running, there's still a lot of maintenance that needs to be done. Like, I stripped down the fucking, I took off the rotors, and the wheel bearings are fucked up, and and the calipers, and the brake delete and all that shit. And I gotta finish all that before I can get on the road. So even if the car runs, I can't even tune it because I can't take it to tune until I get all that other shit done. And then I still got bolt up intercooler piping, all that stuff. Well, anyway, I'm still going to move along with that. I'm going to get a battery this week, and I'm going to drain the fuel out of the tank and really get the troubleshooting now that I'll have a battery. in place. But the whole thing is like I've thought about a couple times, like just getting another Integra and starting over with just another Integra that's intact that I didn't fuck with like this. But anyway, I kind of figured, well, I already do have another shell sitting here, and I have a full swap for it, so why not go ahead and put that together? So I have that built fucking A2 under my table right now, under this table, but I also have plenty of other options I could go with to get the Integra, to get the RSX running again. So I figured what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that Z3 rotating assembly, I'm going to put that together, and I'm going to slap an A3 head on it. And now, why would you do that? Well, one, because this is something I've talked about for a bunch of times, a long time, running an A3 with a piston swap and, to see what the power does. Now, the stroke is the same, so even though I'm going to have beefier rods, it's not going to change anything there. So it'll technically be like running an A3 with with the upgraded pistons to see exactly what it'll do. But the main concern is, the main reason I'm doing this is like I have everything here to assemble a K20 except the head gasket, so I can put one together relatively quick and have it in the RSX relatively quick. I just buy a battery for that one as well, and that car should run. Now it's going to be much higher compression than it would be if it was a stock A3, so I do need a tune for that. But I think I'll just get a hop on Flash Pro and do that. But the good thing is, even though it'll run probably shitty with the air fuel ratios and whatnot, I'm still convinced it'll run somewhat. So I can throw that swap together and put it in the car and go, and that'll save me like $2,500 of buying a car that I want to buy. I want to buy an EP3. I actually do have some money saved for once in a fucking lifetime, and I was thinking about getting one soon. But instead of asking myself out of that money, when I'm, there's a, Honda Days coming in April, and the UFC is also coming to Miami for the first time in 16 years in April. So that April's going to be an expensive month for me, and we're just now getting into February. So we got February and then March, and then the beginning of April is when I need money. So I figure instead of just saving money to spend for a $2,000 car or even a $1,000 car, I'll just get the RSX up and running because it's complete and intact. I mean, I got to replace wheel studs in the back end from a wheel fell off when it was getting towed. But that's the only thing that I need to do to get the car to be like 100% rolling shell. So here's the plan. Like I doubled up. I was like, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get this car together running with this swap. This like my fake A3, A2 block rotating assembly A3 head, and while I'm running the RSX stock like it is, or not, slightly modified. While I'm running it like that, I'm gonna be piecing together my turbo kit for the RSX, for the RSX. And what's going to happen is, once I get everything ready, the turbo for the RSX, and once it's ready to go, I'm going to finish that K I have down there, and I'll get an A2 head for that now that I know I'm going to have the time. I'll go ahead and get an A2 head for that. Or maybe I'll just put that K24 A2 head on there. Get the proper VTEC head for that block, and have it 100% ready. I also have, another transmission on the side, so I can completely assemble a swap. So the idea would be once it's 100% ready to go turbo, I'll pull out the swap I'm going to put in now, put that on the side, and I can put the turbo swap in there. So that way there'll be no downtime really. It'll just be like a weekend or so while I'm getting everything in place, and then get it back to the dyno. Now, then here's the idea. With the other swap I'll have, I could either sell it or I could do something I've also mentioned that I want to do, and I can turbo that in an older chassis like an EG or whatnot. And take that car, take it out of there, and drop it in an older chassis, and boost that as well. And it won't even really need to be a rush to do that. Rush to get the turbo. I can just drop it in as is. I'll have to get a Honda though because I won't be able to use Flash Pro. Flash Pro, for you guys who don't know, only works in the original chassis. It doesn't work on older cars. So I'll have to get a Honda to run that. And then I guess I could run it as is, like as a daily. Or get ready for boost, but I would like to do that. So that would take care of my whole stock boost thing as well. So I would like to try that out. So moving along here, what I would like to do, hopefully what I do is like that. I only work on my days off on these engines because the whole sleep thing, right? I need to sleep a little bit. So what I'm going to do is next weekend I'm going to assemble the K series and. Depending on how much time, I guess, if I can get the long block completed, then I guess the weekend after, all I gotta do is I'll take my long block out to the side because the swap that I pulled out of that donor RSX is still like 100% complete sitting together. So the idea is to take all the components and shit off of that I need, the accessory stuff, move it over to the new long block that's fresh, and then swap the transmission over, and then literally just drop it in the RSX, and then I should be good to go. Yeah, so that's the whole idea there, and then so hopefully I'll have a running car, and then also as well I get the battery for the Integra. I'll drain the fuel from the Integra, put a fresh couple of quarts of 93 in there, and with a brand new battery, hopefully I can start the troubleshooting steps, or maybe who knows, maybe it was just the bad fuel to keep from not starting. The fuel has been in that car as a quarter tank, and it's been in that car for over 2 years. It's going on 3 years as a matter of fact now. So who knows? Maybe it'll start from that. And if it doesn't start, then it might be the distributor, because my distributor is kind of fucked and wonky. It was a gift from a friend that was kind of shaky. I'm not 100% sure if it's healthy. So there's that idea, and then I'll just go from there. All right, guys. So real quick before I take off, I don't know if you all got any questions or whatnot. DMs have been coming. There's a couple of guys that recently hit DMs, and I just kind of like put them on the back burner because they hit the pet peeve thing. And I'm like, dude, if you guys are gonna take the time to send me a message, don't message me a question saying, hey, can I ask you a question? Because obviously you're already asking me a question by asking me if you can ask me a question. Just ask the question. Ask me the question you're going to ask. DM right away like, hey, this is my question. And then everything you have to talk about on that topic that you think you can cover, throw it into that one big question. So that way I can hit all bases at the same time. Or now live stream, and then you can feel free to ask whatever the fuck you want. And then I can sit here and go back and forth with you for a few minutes and answer some stuff. And if not, then I will bounce. And then what I'll do is I will schedule another live stream for the near future. Maybe next Friday or whatnot. Is Friday a good time for you guys? Friday night? That's what I'm thinking. Well, if not, I guess. Well, if no answer, then I guess I'll just I'll come up to an idea of what I'm going to do here, and then I'll just post it everywhere in the community on YouTube and on Instagram and on Facebook and whatnot to let you guys know when it is I plan on doing this again. So no questions? Nothing? I'm trying to thumbs up here, and it's not letting me thumbs up. Why is it not letting me thumbs up my video? Give me a thumbs up. All right, guys. Okay, that's it. I'm done. Nobody's got anything for me, so I got nothing else to talk about.